Prince Rupert is a port city in the province of British Columbia, Canada. Located on Kaien Island, Prince Rupert is the land, air, and water transportation hub of British Columbia's north coast, and has a population of 12,508 people. History. Prince Rupert was incorporated on March 10, 1910. It was named for Prince Rupert of the Rhine, who was first governor of the Hudson's Bay Company, as the result of an open competition held by the railway, the prize for which was $250. Prior to the opening of the GTP, the business center on the north coast was Port Essington on the Skeena River. After the founding of Prince Rupert at the western terminus for the Grand Trunk Pacific Railway, Port Essington returned to being a fishing community. Charles Hayes had many grand ideas for Prince Rupert, including berthing facilities for large passenger ships and the development of a major tourism industry. These plans fell through when Charles Hayes perished on the RMS Titanic in April 1912. Mount Hayes, the larger of two mountains on Kaien Island, is named in his honor, as is a local high school, Charles Hayes Secondary School. Local politicians used the promise of a highway connected to the mainland as an incentive, and the city grew over the next several decades. American troops finally completed the 100-mile stretch of road between Prince Rupert and Terrace during World War II to facilitate the movement of thousands of Allied troops to the Aleutian Islands and the Pacific. Several forts were built to protect the city at Barrett Point and Frederick Point. Following World War II, the fishing industry, particularly salmon and halibut, and forestry became the city's major industries. Prince Rupert was the halibut capital of the world until the early 1980s. A long-standing dispute over fishing rights in the Dixon entrance to the Hecate Strait between American and Canadian fishermen led to the formation of the 54-40 or Fight Society. The United States Coast Guard maintains a base in nearby Ketchikan, Alaska. In 1946, the Government of Canada, through an order in council, granted the Joint Chiefs of Staff the power to administer and maintain facilities to collect data in support of communications research. The Royal Canadian Navy were allotted 40 positions, 7 of which were located in Prince Rupert. In either 1948 or 1949, Prince Rupert ceased operations and the positions were relocated to RCAF Whitehorse, Yukon. The 1949 Queen Charlotte earthquake with a Richter scale magnitude of 8.1 broke windows and swayed buildings on August 22. Prince Rupert endured in summer 1958 a riot over racial discrimination. Ongoing discontent with heavy-handed police practices towards natives escalated to rioting during a Port Day celebration following the arrest of an Aboriginal couple. As many as 1,000 people began smashing windows and skirmishing with police. The Riot Act was read for only the second time since Confederation. Over the years, hundreds of students were said to have largely paid their way through school by working in the then lucrative fishing industry. Construction of a pulp mill began in 1947 and was operating by 1951. The construction of coal and grain shipping terminals followed. The 1960s, 1970s and 1980s saw the construction of many amenities including a civic center, swimming pool, public library, golf course and performing arts center, developments that mark the town's evolution from a fishing and mill town to a small city. In the 1990s, both the fishing and forest industries experienced a significant downturn in economic activity. In July, 1997, Canadian fishermen blockaded the Alaska Marine Highway ferry MV Malaspina, keeping it in the port as a protest in the salmon fishing rights dispute between Alaska and British Columbia. The forest industry declined when the softwood lumber dispute arose between Canada and the U.S. After the pulp mill closed down, many people were unemployed, and a significant amount of top-of-the-line machinery was left dormant. After reaching a peak of about 18,000 in the early 1990s, Prince Rupert's population began to decline as people left in search of work. The period from 1996 to 2004 saw difficult times for Prince Rupert, including closure of the pulp mill, the burning down of a fish plant and a significant population decline. 2005 may be viewed as a critical turning point though. The announcement of the construction of a container port in April 2005, combined with new ownership of the pulp mill, the 2004 opening of a new cruise ship dock, the resurgence of coal and grain shipping, and the prospects of increased heavy industry and tourism possibly foretell a bright future for the area. Prince Rupert was ranked 193rd out of the 200 Canadian cities in Money Sense magazine's Best Places 2013, the lowest rank of any city in British Columbia. Geography. Prince Rupert is situated on Kaien Island north of Vancouver, just north of the mouth of Skeena River, and linked by a short bridge to the mainland. The city is located along the island's northwestern shore, fronting on Prince Rupert Harbour. At the western terminus of Trans-Canada Highway 16, Prince Rupert is approximately 16 kilometres west of Port Edward, 144 kilometres west of Terrace, and 715 kilometres west of Prince George. Climate Prince Rupert has an oceanic climate and is also located in a temperate rainforest. Prince Rupert is known as a Euro-OE, the City of Rainbows, a Euro, as it is Canada, a Euro unregistered trademark wettest city, with 2,590 mm of annual precipitation on average, 2,470 mm of that total being rain. In addition, 240 days per year have at least some precipitation, and there are only 30 hours of sunshine per year, so it is regarded as the municipality in Canada which receives the least amount of sunshine annually. Tourist brochures boast about Prince Rupert, a Euro unregistered trademark SA Euro A 100 days of sunshine a Euro. Out of Canada's 100 largest cities, Prince Rupert had the coolest summer with an average high of 15.67 degrees Celsius. Winters in Prince Rupert are mild by Canadian standards, with the average afternoon temperature in December, January and February being 5.2 degrees Celsius, which is the 10th warmest in Canada, only being surpassed by other British Columbia cities. Summers are mild and comparatively less rainy, with an August daily mean of 13.5 degrees Celsius. Spring and autumn are not particularly well defined. Rainfall nevertheless peaks in the autumn months. Winters are chilly and damp, but warmer than most locations at a similar latitude, due to Pacific moderation. The January daily mean is 1.3 degrees Celsius, although frosts and blasts of cold Arctic air from the northeast are not uncommon. Snow amounts are moderate for Canadian standards, averaging 126 centimeters and occurring mostly from December to March. Snowfall in Prince Rupert is rare and normally melts within a few days, although individual snowstorms may bring copious amounts of snow. Wind speeds are relatively strong, with prevailing winds blowing from the southeast. Extremes in temperature range from a 24.4 degrees Celsius in January 1965 to 31.1 degrees Celsius in May 2004. Demographics, population by age group 2001, age group equals population, under 18 years equals 4,320, 18 a Euro 34 years equals 3,370, 35 a Euro 54 years equals 5,020. 55 a Euro 74 years equals 2,075, 75 years and over equals 515, total, age groups equals 15,300, median age equals 34.8, source, BC Stats Population Estimates, 2004. Prince Rupert has the highest First Nations population percentage of any municipality with a population of 5,000 or more in Canada. Government. The current mayor of Prince Rupert is Lee Brain. The current councillors of Prince Rupert are Nelson Kinney, Joy Thorkelson, Barry Cunningham, Blair Miro, Wade Nish, and Govinda Randhawa. Prince Rupert is part of the Skeena Bulkley Valley federal riding. Nathan Cullen is the current Member of Parliament for the riding, and is a member of the New Democratic Party. In the Legislative Assembly of British Columbia, Prince Rupert is a large portion of the North Coast riding. Jennifer Rice is the current member of the Legislative Assembly. She is a member of the New Democratic Party of British Columbia. The NDP traditionally has strong support in the region. Notable residents: after 1908, Thomas Duffer and Duff Patullo became mayor of Prince Rupert. He went on to become the Premier of British Columbia from 1933 to 1941, as a member of the Liberal Party. Alexander Malcolm Manson, the first lawyer in Prince Rupert, was elected to the BC legislature in the riding of Aminka in 1916 as a Liberal. He became Speaker of the House in 1921 and the following year was appointed as both Attorney General and Minister of Labour, serving in both capacities for 6 years. He was later appointed to the BC Supreme Court. Iona Campagnolo began her political career when she was elected to Prince Rupert City Council in 1966. In 1974, she successfully ran for the Liberal Party in the federal riding of Skeena. In 1976 she was appointed Minister of Amateur Sports. She became President of the Liberal Party of Canada in 1982. She served as British Columbia's Lieutenant Governor from 2001 to 2007. In 1986, NDP candidate Dan Miller was elected to the Prince Rupert electoral district and from August 1999 through February 2000 was Premier. Peter James Lester was elected to Prince Rupert Council in 1955, and to the position of Mayor on December 12, 1957, a post he held for the next 36 years, continuously through 17 terms of office. He was awarded the Order of British Columbia in 1994. Lester was the president of the North Central Municipal Association for the 1972 to 1973 term. Peter Lester died. Honourable Iona Campagnola, Lieutenant Governor, noted the passing of former Mayor Peter Lester. Frederick Peters, former Premier of Prince Edward Island and legal partner of Sir Charles Hibbert Tupper, served as city solicitor from 1911 to 1919. Rod Brind'Amour, former captain of the NHL's Carolina Hurricanes. Lisa Walters, LPGA golf champion. Paul Wong, Canadian video artist, now based in Vancouver, British Columbia. Sid Dickens, an artist, now based in Vancouver, British Columbia. Gloria Makarenko, Canadian journalist, co-anchor CBC Vancouver, born and raised in Prince Rupert. Shane Woodford, Canadian journalist, reporter, anchor, and talk show host on CKNW News Talk 980, born in Prince Rupert. Takao Tanabe, CM, OBC, is a Canadian painter, born in Prince Rupert. Tara Jean Stevens, actress, playwright, and radio broadcaster, formerly of the Vancouver-based radio show Kia and Tara Jean. Bernice Liu, is a Chinese-Canadian actress and singer, born and raised in Prince Rupert. Industry: Prince Rupert currently relies on the fishing industry, port, and tourism. Transport =seaport =. Prince Rupert's sheltered harbour is the deepest ice-free natural harbour in North America, and the third deepest natural harbour in the world. Situated at 54° north, the harbour is the northwesternmost port in North America linked to the continent's railway network. The port is the first inbound and last outbound port of call for cargo ships traveling between Eastern Asia and Western North America. Passenger ferries operating from Prince Rupert include BC Ferries service to the Haida-Gwaii to Port Hardy on Vancouver Island, and Alaska Marine Highway ferries to Ketchikan, Juneau and Sitka and many other ports along Alaska's Inside Passage. The Prince Rupert Ferry Terminal is co-located with the Prince Rupert Railway Station, from which Via Rail offers a thrice-weekly Jasper-Prince Rupert train, connecting to Prince George and Jasper, and through a connection with the Canadian, to the rest of the continental passenger rail network. The Prince Rupert Port Authority is responsible for the port's operation. Much of the harbour is formed by the shelter provided by Digby Island, which lies windward of the city and contains the Prince Rupert Airport. The city is located on Kaien Island and the harbour also includes Tuck Inlet, Morse Basin, Wainwright Basin, and Porpoise Harbour, as well as part of the waters of Chatham Sound which takes in Ridley Island. Port facilities. Prince Rupert is ideally located for a port, having the deepest natural harbour depths on the continent. The city's port capacity is comparable with the Port of Vancouver's. Unlike most West Coast ports, there is very little traffic congestion at Prince Rupert. Finally, the extremely mountainous nature and narrow channels of the surrounding area leaves Prince Rupert as the only suitable port location in the Inland Passage region. The Prince Rupert Port Authority is a federally appointed agency which administers and operates various port properties on the harbour. Previously run by the National Harbours Board and subsequently the Prince Rupert Port Corporation, the PRPA is now a locally run organisation. PRPA port facilities include Atlan Terminal, Northlands Terminal, Lightning Dock, Ocean Dock, Westview Dock, Fairview Terminal, Prince Rupert Grain, Ridley Terminals, Suffolk Corporation. All PRPA facilities are serviced by CN Rail. The Canadian Coast Guard maintains CCG Bay Seal Cove on Prince Rupert Harbour where vessels are home ported for search and rescue and maintenance of aids to navigation throughout the north coast. CCG also bases helicopters at Prince Rupert for servicing remote locations with aids to navigation, as well as operating a marine communications centre, covering a large vessel traffic services zone from Port Hardy at the northern tip of Vancouver Island to the international boundary north of Prince Rupert. Both BC Ferries and the Alaska Marine Highway operate ferries which call at Prince Rupert, with destinations in the Alaska Panhandle, the Haida Gwaii, and isolated communities along the central coast to the south. Airport Prince Rupert Airport is located on Digby Island. Its position is 54 degree 17 euro squared 10 euro cubed N 130 degree 26 euro squared 41 euro cubed W, and its elevation is 35 m above sea level. The airport consists of one runway, one passenger terminal, and two aircraft stands. Access to the airport is typically achieved by a bus connection that departs from one location in downtown Prince Rupert and travels to Digby Island by ferry. The airport is served by Air Canada and Hocair from Vancouver International Airport. Prince Rupert is also served by the Prince Rupert Seal Cove Water Aerodrome, a seaplane facility with regularly scheduled, as well as chartered, flights to nearby villages and remote locations. Railway CN Rail has a main line that runs to Prince Rupert from Vail Mount, British Columbia. At Vail Mount, the Prince Rupert Main Line joins the CN Main Line from Vancouver. Freight traffic on the Prince Rupert Main Line consists primarily of grain, coal, wood products, chemicals, and as of 2007, containers. As the renovations at the port of Prince Rupert continue, traffic on CN will steadily rise in future years. In addition, a 3 times weekly Jasper Prince Rupert train operated by Via Rail connects Prince Rupert with Prince George and Jasper. Running during daylight hours to allow passengers to be able to see the scenery along the entire route, the service takes 2 days and requires an overnight hotel stay in Prince George. The route ends in Jasper and connects passengers with Via's the Canadian, which runs between Toronto and Vancouver. Communications, telephone, mobile, and Internet service are provided by City West. City West is owned by the City of Prince Rupert. City West provides long-distance telephone service, as does TELUS. In September 2005, the city changed CityTel from a city department into an independent corporation named City West. The new corporation immediately purchased the local cable company, Monarch Cable Systems, expanding City West's customer base to other northwest British Columbia communities. Since January 2008, Rogers Communications has offered GSM and Edge service in the Euro, the first real competition to City West's virtual monopoly. Rogers offers local numbers based in Port Edward, which is in the local calling zone for the Prince Rupert area. The introduction of Rogers service forced City West to form a partnership with Bell Canada to bring digital services to City West Mobility, using CDMA. Media Radio AM 860, CFPR, CBC Radio 1, FM 98.1, VF 2119, Classic Rock, FM 99.1, CHTK FM, EZ Rock 99.1 Fathoms 100.7, CIAJ FM, Christian Programming, FM 101.9, CJFW FM 2, Country Music. Television Channel 6, CFTK TV 1, CBC Television Private Affiliate. Newspapers Prince Rupert Daily News, Daily Newspaper, The Northern View, Local Weekly Newspaper, 2006 Present, owned by Black Press, The Northern Connector, Regional Weekly Newspaper covering Prince Rupert, Kitimat and terrace areas, 2006 a present, owned by Black Press. Tourist attractions. Prince Rupert is a central point on the Inside Passage, a route of relatively sheltered waters running along the Pacific coast from Vancouver, British Columbia to Skagway, Alaska. It is visited by many cruise ships during the summer en route between Alaska to the north and Vancouver and the lower 48 to the south. Prince Rupert is also the starting point for many wildlife viewing trips including whales, eagles, salmon and grizzly bears. The Cutsema Teen Grizzly Bear Sanctuary features one of the densest remaining populations in North America. Tours can be arranged by water, air or land departing from Prince Rupert. Neighboring communities. By virtue of location, Prince Rupert is the gateway to many destinations: Dodge Cove, Mitlaakatla, Port Edward, Lax Killarms, Una River, Kitcatla, Kisumkalam, Kitsalaz, Terrace, Hartley Bay, the Haida Gwaii to the west of Prince Rupert, across the Hecate Strait. Alaska is 49 nautical miles north of Prince Rupert. Citations: the book Unmarked, Landscapes Along Highway 16, written by Sarah de Lie, includes an essay about Prince Rupert entitled Highway of Monsters. Ra Maguire of the band Trooper wrote the hit song Santa Maria on a boat in Prince Rupert's harbor. Says Maguire, the boat was called the Lucky Lady. We sailed from Prince Rupert onto an island off the coast with an awful lot of alcohol and some salmon to barbecue. Many of the lines in the song are direct quotes from the skipper. He actually said, "Okay, there's only fear and good judgment holding us back." On the way back he said, "Does somebody know how to drive this thing?" I actually wrote these down in a little notepad as we went. Amuro Ray, the protagonist of the anime series Mobile Suit Gundam, was born and raised in Prince Rupert. See also, Royal Eponyms in Canada, School District 52 Prince Rupert. Notes. External links: City of Prince Rupert, Prince Rupert City and Regional Archives, Prince Rupert and District Chamber of Commerce, Skeena Queen Charlotte Regional District, Prince Rupert Port Authority, Prince Rupert Airport, Northwest Community College, School District 52, Prince Rupert Secondary School, Charles Hayes Secondary School, Prince Rupert Library, Prince Rupert Economic Development Corporation, Tourism Prince Rupert.